Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to install this Fabspeed intercooler on a Porsche 930. But first, let's take a sneak peek at the final result. The name is Fred, and I love Porsche. I'm restoring, modifying and driving cars. An occasional product or car review might come along as well. So, enjoy! These are all the parts that come along with the kit. Everything is included to complete the installation. There are even some plugs included to clamp off some hoses if needed. First of all, we need to start by deconnecting all the tubing that's connected to the intercooler, the stock intercooler. There's one tube over here, and you have on this side you have either one or two. This tube is coming off very difficult because it's stuck between the intercooler and the piece over there. The moment we will start loosening the intercooler with this this one over here, these two, you have to loosen this one. So when this is completely disconnected, we can lift the intercooler, and at the same time it will come off this tube. The pipe connecting the intercooler to the turbo also came out because this is loose. It's not stuck on the turbo, it's not stuck on the intercooler. It's connected with a set of rubber rings. And here you can see the turbo. I've covered the outlet of the turbo so no dirt can get in it. So next up we need to remove this wire and this tube. So now we leave that aside and we will concentrate on this piece. This has to come out entirely. First we're going to start by loosening this screw here in the back and this one, so we can remove this piece of tube pipe. And then we're going to loosen these two screws so we can remove the pipe going straight down to the inlet of the turbo. So now that this piece of pipe has come out, we can see there is a large vacuum hose connected to the backside of the recirculation valve. So we have to disconnect this one as well. Next up is we need to loosen this one so we can remove the hose that's running between these two lines, so we have clearance to take out the recirculation valve. Also, you will notice here is another sensor. You have to take, it's connected with an electrical wire. We have to disconnect this one as well because we have to reuse these sensors on the intercooler, the new intercooler. Final stage, we have to using a 13mm socket, loosen 1, 2, 3 bolts, and then the recirculation valve will come out entirely. Be careful when removing the recirculation valve because there might still be 1 or 2 hoses connected at the back. But that's not for all models. Mine had 1 hose connected. Once that was deconnected, I was able to remove the valve. This is what the recirculation valve looks like up close. So with the recirculation body out of the way, now we can go ahead and, not this one, we need this one. This one is for later. We can disconnect this pipe and this one because we don't need them anymore. But be careful, that's not for all the models, but my model doesn't need them anymore. The kit comes with special equipment, so you can use these stops to close up the holes and reuse the screw clamps to snugly fit them in place. So let's go and do that. I wasn't able to put both end caps on these aluminum tubes, so I reinstalled the original tubing that was going to the stock intercooler, and I placed the tubing on the end, and there I put the stop with the screw clamp. I know it's not the correct way to do it, but it'll work, and that's the most important part. So I also reconnected this hose to the air inlet duct and secured it with a screw clamp. So next thing we'll do is we'll take this one off, this sensor on the back end, and we'll put them on the new intercooler here and here. And this one is for the a connection. This is a connection that we're going to use to secure this tubing on the intercooler. So these are nice and tight and all secure. So the next step in the process is to install this pipe on the K27 stock turbo. Now we can go ahead and install the piping between. Ooh, I have to clean this one out, you see. Always have to check your pipes and clean them out. So after I've cleaned this pipe, I'm going to install the pipe around here. So with this piece of pipe installed, we can go ahead and install the new redirection valve right over here, and then we can go ahead and connect this piece of pipe to it. Here we go. This one is connected and tightened with this screw clamp. At the same time, I attached this pipe facing an angle towards the fan, and at the same time I reconnected the rubber hose that was coming from the throttle body at the back end. That was a standard on the Porsche 930, and reconnected it to the redirection valve. Next step in the process is changing this tube, loosening the screw in the back end over there, and changing it by the tube delivered in the kit, like this. Next, we need to loosen this solenoid and lower it down so the back end touches the clamp right over here, so it's clear with the top of the fan, so the intercooler can have its room to fit on top. So this hose being connected, I started moving the solenoid, but I found out just by loosening this bolt over here and this one on the other side, it doesn't move. You have to lift it up, and as you can see at the bottom there's a screw. You have to loosen the screw so you can move the solenoid in the bracket and then tighten it again. So this is the final position of the solenoid when we've moved it all the way down, so it's flat or lower than the top of the fan. So it's almost time to mount the new intercooler, but before we do that, everything is mounted on the intercooler, but before we do that, we just have to insert this plug into this hole, because this is something that Fabspeed has foreseen in its design. If you want to use E85 ethanol or methanol mixture, you can inject it over there. But as I'm not going to use that, I need to plug this hole. Now with the plug installed, I went ahead and removed all the end caps that were on the intercooler, and we are ready to install the intercooler in the engine bay. But before we do that and connect all the hoses, we need to make sure that we connect the wiring. We have a wire here, a second wire over there that were connected to the sensors, that we connect the wires to the sensors and make sure that on the end this tube that was originally on the stock intercooler connects with the tube over there. Once these are connected, we can push the intercooler into the hose with the turbo and connect with the throttle body using where is it? That piece of rubber. This one goes over there. Here you can see all the hoses and wiring connected to the proper sensor. Now it's time to put the intercooler in place and connect all the hoses. All the hoses are connected, but none of them are tightened yet, so everything is loose. Even here at the bottom, all the brackets are loose, because now we're gonna align the intercooler with the engine by placing the bracket over these bolts and fix them here on the standard place to fix the stock intercooler. So once that's aligned and perfect with the lid of the car, then we can finish with tightening all the hoses. Screw clamps are connected, and all the tubing is connected, and we also mounted the bracket that comes with the kit, and I must say it's wow, it's rock solid. So everything is connected, right? And we should be ready to fire it up, but first I want to finish it off. There is a aluminum plating that comes with the kit to replace the stock deflector for the intercooler. So let's go ahead and finish up this part, and then the installation is complete and we can fire up the car. So after installation, this is what the final result looks like. And I must say, when you close the lid, it fits like a charm. Don't know if you can see it, but it matches the edges of the intercooler, and all air is forced through the intercooler in this section. There's no air that can pass through this section. This is perfect. So after the completion, this is what it looked like. And these parts came out of the car. Yeah, I had to place an umbrella because it started raining. Now that the installation is complete, there's only one more thing to do, and that's firing up the car. So that's a wrap. The installation is complete. It didn't take more than a few hours. I would especially want to thank Joe from Fabspeed. Joe is the owner of Fabspeed, for making it possible for sending the intercooler to Europe. It came with a manual with instructions and pictures to follow, and it was a step-by-step process. It doesn't need much technical skills, just common sense. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you've learned something. So see you next time. Bye.